Yes,
right.
it is.
We are going to get started. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to our interview. This is Women's World of Wellness, and we're here with one of our very own wellness experts, Marcy, and she is our amazing mom coach
Woohoo. Of
yeah, so we're super excited to have her here. Thank you for being here, Marcy. We appreciate
course.
your time. So let's jump in. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started on your wellness journey.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. So, a little bit about me. Like you said, I am a mom coach. I specialize in helping moms fall in love with themselves again, really removing any trauma and old stories that they had from the past and teaching them how to like create a life that they love today. So really for me, it started with my own journey because I'm a big believer in like before you can help others, you have to help yourself first.
Mhm.
So for me, I have two kids. And after I had my second, my daughter, I like looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. And I told myself, in order to be the best mom for my kids, I have to be the best me for myself first. So it really started with my health. Before I really went into like mindset and all the deep work, it was about changing the way I ate. It was about creating healthy habits for myself so that I could pass them on to my kids. And once I got that part down, which it took me about a year because I did it the right way. Like I learned about nutrition, I learned the right way to eat, what not to eat. So after I did that, I realized there's so much more to it than just food. Like I was 100 pounds overweight, but I didn't just get there by accident. I got there because I was emotionally eating, because I wasn't dealing with some trauma that I had. So for me, it really made me curious about what that looked like. So then I went on an internal journey and really spent a couple years doing all the hard work. And through that, I realized I found a love and passion for bringing these gifts to women, specifically moms. And so I decided to go back to school for life coaching, for holistic coaching, for nutrition, for breath work, for all the things to help moms become the best version of themselves. So that was kind of a long answer to your question.
That's a lot, though. That was actually a short answer that you put
Yeah.
a lot into a very short amount of time. It sounds
Yeah.
like a long journey. So was there like a pivotal moment when you said you looked in the mirror and you were like, I don't even recognize myself? What really catapulted you and like lit your fire to keep going?
Yeah. So for me, it was in 2017. I went to Unleash the Power Within, which is a Tony Robbins event.
Mhm.
I was actually at a networking event for my job, and this guy was there and he was, doing the spiel. And then at the end, he's telling everyone, there's this Tony Robbins event that's coming. It's $1,000. And I was like, $1,000. So I went up to him and I said, can I hold your purse? Like being funny. And 3 days later, he sent me an email and just said, I was so inspired by your story. I'm gifting you a ticket to Tony Robbins. I
Oh,
went to Tony Robbins and I went with the mindset of like, I'm going with my eyes and heart wide open. And whatever's supposed to happen, whatever I'm supposed to receive, I'm really going to be open to doing so. And I went to this event and I was all in. I mean, I was doing all the things. I was like jumping with everyone and crying and having all these emotional breakthroughs. And I came out of that event and I said, I'm going to burn the boat and take the island. I'm going to take a stand today. And so I came home. I asked for a divorce. I now found myself at
no.
31 as a single mom with two little kids. And I decided then and there that like I'm going to do the work. And that's really what started my whole journey was like deciding that I was going to stop making excuses. I was going to stop letting my past define my present and predict my future and I was going to go all in and do all the work. And so for me, that was really the moment that I decided, like, this is it. I'm putting my stick in the sand. I'm not looking back. And today is the day that I'm going to start to change my life.
I love that. And I loved how you said that your past doesn't identify you because I say that all of the time. I think I say it every day. I think at some point of every day it comes
Yeah.
to where it's so easy to let life experiences or how you grew up or what story you've told yourself, which we talked about in the class last night, the story you tell yourself is you're allowing these things to define who you are. It could be something very simple, it could be something really big, but you're giving all your power away when you do that.
100%.
And it's really like a fixed mindset, right? And
Yeah.
when you're identifying as, oh, I'm a typical whatever, or
Right.
I'm not a morning person. And something as simple as that. And I use that as an
Yes.
example because I hear it regularly. But just that mindset of this is who I am and this is how it is. And that right there is like, I'm not going to change. So
Yeah.
I love how you say I'm not letting that identify who I am.
And I think that like a lot, I work with a lot of single moms, and it's so funny because they'll introduce themselves and they'll say like, "Hi, I'm Marcy. I'm a single mom." I said, "Why do you identify? Why is that part of your intro? Like
Yeah.
someone doesn't say like, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm married."
Right.
Right? But it's like we feel like we need to say it to like apologize for what we're going to say next. And so that's the big thing that I try and tell women, to go to your point, is like stop putting these labels on yourself
Yeah.
and using your past and your trauma as the way you introduce yourself when you walk through a door.
Yeah. I totally agree. So during your journey, we all hit bumps in the road. Do you have any like things that really stood out as like really big challenges for you that you were able to overcome? And how did
Yeah.
that look like?
I mean, I think we all, when you're being super present, you're going to notice a lot of changes on the journey. And one of the biggest ones for me was like the people, my circle, my community, you can't take everybody with you. And so
Right.
I always say that when you're doing a self transformation, it becomes super lonely. When you're healing, it's healing is a very lonely journey because a lot of times when you're in a journey, everyone in your life isn't on that journey as well. Usually, most of them aren't. So, in order for you to hang around those people, you need to become the old version of yourself. But you've now done all this work to become the new version. So, you don't want to go backward. So, now
Yeah.
you just find yourself without friends, without a community, and starting over. And for me, that was the hardest part. I'm here in Florida. I have no family out here. So my friends really have become my family. And now I find myself in my 30s having to find new friends and a new community because the group of people that I used to hang out with were not aligned anymore.
Yeah.
So that's been like the hardest thing for me is staying true to where I'm at and knowing that like I can't go back because I'm not that person anymore.
Right. Right. Well, and I found too, because it is a lonely journey, right? And
Yeah,
a lot of what falls away also doesn't resonate anymore. So what you once and not only are you not aligned, but you don't even enjoy the company.
a
You don't
hundred
enjoy
percent.
the conversation. You don't enjoy the activity and the engagement. So you don't even want to be there. You would rather,
Yeah.
I know for myself,
No, same. And
even
even
to
when
this day,
if I am there, I'm like, how this is who I used to hang out with. This is the thing. Like, I feel so uncomfortable because I'm so removed from it
yeah.
that I'm like, Netflix is my best friend. We're just at home on a date together, and
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost better. I enjoy
Yeah.
it more. So yeah, I remember that being really hard is
Yeah.
just and friends not understanding it and getting a little bit upset about it or whatever. But when you listen to the conversations, you're like, what are you even talking about? Because all of a sudden, all those little things seem so trivial and
Yeah.
so not important to where you're like, I want to have real conversations. I want
Right.
to talk about real life and transformation,
Yeah.
all of the things that we love talking about, which is why having a community like this,
It's so important.
it is. And that's what Laura and I were talking about. It's like speaking the same language and being in a space that's safe to speak about the realities of truth
Yeah.
information and how it does feel very isolating sometimes, which is not a bad
Very.
thing because that's when you
No.
within and you find yourself.
100%. You find new hobbies. Like I've become such a reader, something
Yeah.
I never thought I would do. And I love it. Like on a night that I don't have my kids, I'll just like get a blanket, sit on my couch, read a good book, cook myself a really good meal.
Yeah.
And that was something before that I would never do because I was like not comfortable in my own thoughts. So I would have to go outside of myself. And
Mhm.
now I'm so comfortable just sitting by myself and being my own best friend.
Yeah. So you're a reader. Tell me what's a good book that you would recommend for anybody in a transformational space?
I mean, my favorite book and the book that I give to all my clients is The Four Agreements. I
Yeah.
love that book. I've read it 1,000 times
Yes.
because I think it allows you to realize, especially not taking things personal. Like a lot of times when we're having conflict with others, it's because we want them to show up in a space how we show up.
Yeah.
And we want them to respond the way we would respond. And once we learn that they're them and I'm me, and their job isn't to show up how I show up, it's my job to decide if I want to be around those people that show up in that way. It
Mhm.
makes being around people so much easier because it's so easy
Oh,
to be like, I'm not taking this personal. That's how they are. I'm
yeah.
deciding to move out of the situation.
That's one of the best things that you can learn in life. I really
Yeah,
feel like it is in dealing with people because it is true how people take things so personally, as if
all
every
the
decision
time.
other people are making is about them. It's like it's not about you, it's about them.
Yes.
It's, don't take it on. It's not you.
Yeah.
A great lesson. I have a book that I love. It's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. And
Ooh.
it's such a great book for overthinkers, for
Okay.
people who are always in their brain. And it really breaks down
Wow.
where our thoughts come from and how insignificant they can and cannot be, you know? But don't believe
Yeah.
everything you think. That's a good one too.
All right. I'll have to check that out for sure.
So through all of your journeys and your struggles of losing friends and things like that, if you were to talk to little Marcy, which I'm willing to bet you probably had a lot of conversations with little Marcy because that's
So
part of that
busy.
healing process, right?
Yes, that inner child work.
Yeah. What would you tell her now?
I would tell her that it's not your job to please everyone. And
Right.
if you show up as your authentic self, you'll attract the right people into your life. I think that was the biggest lesson that I learned when I look back. And I believe everything's a lesson, so I don't regret anything. But when I look back, a lot of it was pleasing others, which was connected to my abandonment issues because I wanted them to like me or not leave me. So I would maybe do things that I knew weren't true to me because I wanted other people to validate me. I wanted other people to stay around. So I
Yeah.
would definitely tell young Marcy, like, show up as your authentic self. You were created exactly how you were meant to be. And when you're showing up, you're attracting the right people. We attract the wrong people when we're not being true to ourselves.
Right.
I definitely had to learn that the hard way. So I think that's probably one of the biggest lessons, and that's something I try and teach my kids all the time. Like, if someone doesn't like you, that's on them. You don't have to say yes to please others. You have to say yes to please yourself.
Right.
No is a complete sentence. And those are lessons I never was taught growing up. And I would definitely tell young Marcy to be true to herself and to stop being a people pleaser for sure.
Mhm. I think that's great advice. And I think that for sure kids need to hear things like that more
Yeah.
because it's definitely kind of it's a lot harder to be a kid now than it once
Oh my
was.
God.
So I love that you're doing that. And I love that you're working with moms because that's really where we need to get my son is calling me as we say that.
Oh,
Uh,
see? The universe.
but
Yeah, and
like
I think,
targeting the moms so the moms can really start to see that for themselves so they can put
yes.
that on to the kids because the kids are suffering.
And I think also a lot of times parents, they're trying to relive their childhood through their children. I see that all the time. And so I try and remind moms like let kids be kids.
Yeah,
Yes, you need boundaries. Yes, you need discipline, but like some moms I work with, their kids are in like 12 sports a day. They're not even being able to be a kid. And we expect kids to act a certain way, but we forget like at 10, they're not supposed to act like they're 27.
No, we don't want them
Because a
to.
lot of times moms were put in that position. So now they're expecting more from their kids. So I always try and tell moms, work on yourself. In an ideal world, we would all do the work first before we become parents, right? In an ideal world, we would work on ourselves, we would remove our trauma, and then we would become these moms. But that doesn't happen. So
Right.
now we're raising kids while we're raising ourselves,
Yeah.
really. So
Yeah.
you're trying to do the work and be a good parent. It's very difficult to combine the two. But
Yes.
if you're willing to like stop and look and ask for help and get the coaching, like you can create a beautiful life for your children.
And take the pressure off yourself.
100%. I always
It
tell
doesn't
moms,
have to feel like that all the time.
yes. I try and tell moms like throw away all the books. What one kid is doing is their milestones is so different. And when we compare, it's like the worst thing you can do in your motherhood journey is comparing yourself to another mom and to how their kid is showing up in the world.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. I love that. That's why you're our mom coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're doing it. You're doing it. So tell me what it sounds like it's just become a normal lifestyle for you. How
Yeah.
many years has it been since you really started your transformation till now?
I would say my physical I started in 2013 and
Okay.
then really doing like the internal work, I would say 2015, 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I just had this question in my mind and I just lost it. Oh, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you motivated to stay on the wellness track?
I think for me personally, it feels good to wake up and show up in this space. And so I always tell people, like, you never know how good it feels to feel good until you feel good. And
Yes.
for me, like, it feels good to wake up and number one, show up for myself, number two, and then show up for others because I believe that there's so many people who feel so alone, like, so alone. And if I can be a part of them making them not feel as alone, like that brings me so much joy.
Yeah, I love
It
that.
brings me joy to help other moms feel like they can transform their life at any time. Whether they're a new mom in their 20s, in their 30s, a mom who is now an empty nester, like you can change. Your past doesn't define your present and it doesn't predict your future. Like you can decide any day that you want a different life for yourself.
Hmm.
And if you're willing to do the work, anything is possible. And
Yeah,
I tell moms all the time, I didn't grow up in health and wellness. Like that wasn't something I learned about as a kid. So this is something I fell in love with in my 20s, my late 20s, and I found this passion.
yeah,
So I believe that like at any age, in any time in your mom journey, you can decide like today I want a new life for myself and it starts now and it starts with me. And that's what gets me excited when I hear these moms tell me like, oh, I had breakfast with my kid and we journal together. Or I just started a new hobby that and I love it. I'm going pickleboarding. I'm going to do pickleball once a week. Like whatever it is, they're now falling in love with themselves again because they're allowing themselves the space to dream and play and
yeah.
love.
And
Because
just
we
have
we
fun.
think that when we're adults, we can't play and dream anymore. And we push that deep down inside, but that's always there. And we should allow ourselves to be creative, to have fun. And we forget that. We think we
I
become a
got
mom.
my creative.
Yeah, you're super creative. That's like one thing I love about you. And I think that more moms need to know that like being a mom is part of who you are, but it's not your identity.
Right,
And
right.
that happens a lot with moms is they put their own needs to the side because they now think their only job is to be a mom.
Or a wife, or
And
both.
so, yeah, or a wife. And so, what I try and help them realize is when you become the best version of yourself, you, the individual, not the mom, not the wife, but the person,
Yeah,
then everyone in your life is getting the best version of you, your kids,
absolutely.
your spouse, everyone, because you're giving it to yourself first.
Right.
And I think that's something that we forget,
Yes.
whether our kids are grown and now it's just us and our spouse, like we forget the me comes before the we.
Yeah. And it's not selfish, it's necessary.
No,
And
it's
that's what
not selfish at
I
all.
say. It's necessary. And I also tell people all the time, all the workshops. Do not use your kids as your excuse. Use them
Yes.
for a reason. And it's definitely, it's a mindset switch.
Yeah.
Instead of, I can't, I got the kids, and the kids have this food, and the kids like this. I'm like, who's doing the grocery shopping?
A hundred
Who's paying the
percent.
bills? Who's in charge?
Yeah, I agree with you. I always tell them you can, they don't have a job yet, right? So you're the one who feeds them. You're the one who gets to decide if they're on social media, what they
Mhm.
watch. Like
Yes.
you decide that. They don't get to. So
Right.
you need to take your power back
Yeah,
and show up for your life. And that will in turn create a beautiful life for your kids.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. That's
Yeah.
why we're here together.
That's right.
So tell me, where do you see the world of wellness going? Not our world. We have our little community world, but as
Yeah.
far as like wellness across, it's really up and I want to say up and coming, which is sad that wellness
I
is
know.
a new trend. It's not a
Yeah.
trend. It's been our lives. It's been my life for
Yeah.
20 years. So
Well, I think a lot of people, at least from what I see, they're embracing it. They're realizing that, you have the Netflix special like the Blue Zones and
yeah,
how to live to 100 and people are realizing like if they want to enjoy a life with the people they love, they need to put their health first. They
yeah,
need to really decide that they want to not only do it for themselves, but share it with the people they love. And I think before there was just like a small community of the world of those people that did it. And now it's more broad and you're seeing all these health places pop up and these health communities and people speaking about the bad food that is in the US and
yeah,
all these things. People are being more vocal
yeah,
where even 5 years ago they weren't. So I definitely think we're going in the right direction. We have so much work to do, but I think the conversation is getting a little louder, which is a beautiful thing.
yeah, for sure. It's amazing. And even insurance companies starting to offer benefits and
Yeah.
lower insurance rates to employers so they can provide wellness programs, which is so beneficial. Like the studies behind
Yes.
wellness, and people don't really know what wellness is, and a lot of times they associate it with exercise and food.
I know. You're
Not
so
it,
right.
not. That's
You're
why I
so
wanted
right.
this community, right? Because I wanted people to
Yeah.
see all the things that
I
are
know.
wellness. And it's, there's so many scopes, and I'm super excited for us to be able to bring all these different ideas and different concepts and different ways to manage life, stress, anxiety, health
Yeah.
issues, relationship issues, career issues, financial issues, sleep
All
issues.
of it.
Like it's all part of wellness. And
Yeah.
so I think it's great that you're here and we're able to spread the word about
Yeah.
well. Tell
That's
us a
a
little
beautiful
bit
thing.
about how you operate as a coach.
Yeah. So for me, like I do really love one-to-one, but I'm a big fan of one-to-many. So I do a lot of group coaching. I do one-on-ones with local. I do some Zooms. So there's a few ways to work with me.
Okay.
It depends on where you're at. If I have a collective that are kind of all on the same path, I'll
Mhm.
do some mom workshops, I'll do some mom challenges, I'll do like a 90-day get your life back,
Mhm.
own your power program. And then I'll do one-on-one for some of those individuals who aren't comfortable yet, in a group setting and really want to do the deep work.
So what kind because we didn't mention like your specialties.
Yeah.
Because I know you're a breathwork facilitator, I know you're a
Mhm.
transformation coach. Tell us a little bit more about what your coaching is like. What's your specialties? What do you do?
Yeah. I'm certified in holistic health and wellness. I'm certified in Pilates, nutrition, and breath work. So I do a lot of trauma release for breath work. So a lot of moms and women that have like a lot of childhood trauma will do breath work sessions, which I
Mhm.
found is super powerful because
Very.
it helps you really remove trauma that's stored in your body. I'm a big believer in you have to feel to heal.
Yep.
So it honestly depends on where you're at in your journey. I have some women who really need to get their nutrition under control, some moms. They want to get their nutrition under control so they can do it for their family. So we'll do some nutrition, but I'm a big believer in that the food starts from within, like the trauma, the underlining work. So
Yeah.
we do a lot of like life coaching, health and wellness, and really combining all of them in almost every client session. I'll throw some breath work in there at some point because you have to be able to learn how to breathe and connect to what's going on with your body. So I'm a big
Yeah.
fan
Yeah.
of getting still, getting quiet, and allowing your breath to do the talking for you.
Some of my most amazing sessions, and Ingrid is a fantastic breath work. She does multitude of things with the breath work. And
Yeah.
when my dad passed away, I went to her, and breath work is so amazing because it's a physical release of emotions and energy that your body, emotions are energy.
Yeah.
Energy that your body is holding that you don't have, you can't talk about it, you don't know. It's
Yes.
not conscious awareness, but it's what's making your back hurt, or it's what's
A
making your
hundred
hips
percent.
hurt, or you're feeling your chest feels heavy. And I had all those things.
Yeah.
I did breath works where I was like elevated, but I didn't feel my body at all. I couldn't
Yeah.
feel my body, but my arms were literally up here
Yep.
and I couldn't feel them at all. And it took a while for me to come down from that. But it's incredible. And
Yeah.
that's deep healing breath work, right? But then we
Yes.
have breath work that we can use, like I said, in workplace wellness, where we're just practicing breathing just to release.
Yes.
Breathing is like something that people don't realize they're not actually doing.
Yeah, and they
They're,
take it for
they're bad at
granted.
it.
They
Yes.
and they don't realize how much just even closing your eyes, taking 3 deep
Yes.
breaths can regulate your nervous
Oh
system,
my gosh. Yes. Your
especially in the
parasympathetic.
workplace. And I work with a lot of professionals and I tell them when work is overwhelming, like you don't need a 30-minute breath work session.
Wow.
Go sit in the bathroom and literally put your hands on your heart, tell yourself you're safe,
Yeah. And just reconnect.
and just breathe.
Yeah.
And 3 breaths, I promise you, you'll feel so much better. So it's a huge thing that we
And
take
do
for
that when
granted.
you're driving too. Just a
Yes, but with
breath.
your eyes closed.
Yes.
I mean, with your eyes open, not with your eyes
Yes.
closed. Because
And when you find yourself overthinking and your
yes,
wheels are spinning, just catch yourself and be like, am I breathing? Because I guarantee you, if you're overthinking and you're caught in your head, you are not breathing. You are probably holding your breath.
yeah,
It's
and
it's like a body's natural response.
and a lot of times people avoid it because they don't want to get quiet with their own thoughts. So they're
Yes.
scared to
Well,
lean
that's
into
the
it
distractions. Yeah.
because they're scared of what's going to show up. But being in those quiet moments is the best gift you can give for yourself.
And don't be afraid to make noise.
Yeah,
Let it
you gotta
out.
let it out audibly.
When I'm in bed and I'm going to sleep and I'll take like big deep breaths and I exhale,
Yes.
and Don will look at me and I'm like, I'm breathing.
You're like, I'm
You
breathing.
should
Try
try
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's deep breathing and I'm
Yes.
not mad. It's just you realize that you breathe shallow and you don't
Yes.
take full breaths and you don't fully exhale. And when you intentionally do that, you feel the difference.
Oh my God, such a difference. But
Yeah.
we're not taught that growing up. So that's something we now as adults need to learn how to do properly.
And teach our children
And oh my God, it's
and
so
our
especially
grandchildren.
it is so powerful for kids to learn how to connect with their breath. It's such a beautiful gift for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to slow down. And it's okay to slow down.
Yes.
And as the world continues to speed up, it feels we need
Yeah.
to know that it's okay to take a step back. And I think that's really important for everybody to know in the world of wellness is a lot of it is about stepping back, slowing down, becoming
Yes.
mindful, becoming present and aware. And all those things require you to slow down.
100% agree with you.
Yeah. Awesome. So where do people find you?
Well, they can find me on Instagram. I'm Marcy, Marcy dot Siegel, Siegal. And I'm not on all my platforms. Marcy.Siegel at Facebook, Instagram, my website,
Marcy, Marcy, Marcy.
marcy.siegel.com. I'm
Like
everywhere.
Marsha,
So just,
Marsha, Marsha.
yeah, Marcy.Siegal. And yeah, that's where they can find me. They can find me in our community,
Mhm.
and that's how they can connect with me.
And in our community too, I know in our community webpage, we have all of your links as
Yes.
well that you can just click on and it'll take you directly to all of those different platforms.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, Thank you so much for
Yeah, this was
doing the
amazing.
live. I'm glad that we got to get on. Everyone got to get to know you a little bit.
Yes.
Your workshop, tell us a little bit about the workshop you're going to be doing for the community.
Yeah, so basically it's just a workshop for helping women, moms create new habits to help you fall in love with yourself again. So we're going to do some breath work and we're going to go over some habits, some tools that you can implement in your daily life to make this journey a little easier. Because I feel like sometimes when you talk about going on a journey, it feels scary and overwhelming. So
Mhm.
this is going to make it not so scary, not so overwhelming, and something that you can actually do and you can incorporate on your into your daily life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. And so you are on October, I don't remember the date right
I
off.
don't, so I feel like the
I have
last
all
week,
the event dates in my head.
the last week of October,
I got
it's
it.
one of those days. We'll post the date.
I've already posted it. Are you
Okay,
kidding?
good. It's October 30th.
Yes,
Workshop is
October
October 30th.
30th, and you're doing yours later, 8 p.m.
I'm doing it at 8 p.m. So hopefully whatever time zone you're in, that works for you. But yes, October
Yeah.
30th at 8.
Yes, and so for anybody out there watching, we have our October list of events posted
Yes,
on all of our platforms. So it's on our Facebook page, Women's World of Wellness. It's on our Instagram page, WWO Wellness.
yes.
It's in the community. It is in our Facebook group,
It's
Women's World of
everywhere.
Wellness. It is posted and pinned to the top of everything. So
Yeah.
we do have a lot going on. We've got Marcy coming on. She's towards the end of the month. We have Nourish to Flourish with Laura on Wednesday, and then that's October 9th. And October 19th, we have Ingrid, and she's doing a reset and restore
Love
yoga,
it.
stress relief movement, somatic movement class. That's going to be on a Saturday. So check out the events, save the dates,
Yes.
calendar, and tell your friends. Join us, women.
Yes. Tell everyone.
Tell everyone. We got a lot of great things coming on. We also have some guest speakers coming up this month as well. We have a virtual skincare coach
I
who's
love it.
coming on and talking to us on the 23rd. So that's pretty cool. I never heard of a virtual
Me
skincare coach.
neither. I'm excited.
Super excited about that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. And
Thank
pop
you.
into the community. If you're not
Yes.
already a community member, go visit us at grow.wwowellness.com. Join the community. We have lots of fun stuff going on, and we look forward to seeing you in there.
Yes.
All right. Bye, Marcy. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.